so here we go. This is what we stopped in the last video. We have just a system and we can solve it using any method. So whichever method that we've talked about so far that you are comfortable with, so you can graph these, substitution or elimination is totally up to you. I'm just for the sake of the video going to remind you that you can also use Desmos as an aid. If you have a calculator, let's use it. All right, so our first equation, y equal to x over 2 it's plus 3. And our next one is 2x minus 3. All right, so again, remember that you can type those both in and then ta-da, boom, Desmos is going to find the solution. And so we see here that the solution for this would be 4, 5. And if you work this out any other way, you can use this to check and see that you get 4, 5 as the solution. All right, one of the other things we talked about last week was writing the system. So we'll read this and then write the two equations. We don't want to solve, it just says which system, so these are only going to be writing here. So it says after school play, an adult ticket costs $8 each, and each student ticket costs $5. A total of 135 students and adults went to the play. The school made a total of $855 at the play. Which system represents this situation? So it already tells us here that we are going to use A for adults and S for students. And we know that we're going to write two equations. And if we write equations, they have to be equal to something. So we look for our totals. So we have a total of 135 people and a total of $855. So that's going to be important when we write our equations. So I know that one equation is going to equal 135. And then one equation is going to equal 855. Now notice that this equation has money, so I'm going to be looking for the things that deal with money to go with that equation. So we are selling tickets for adults and students, and it tells me here that an adult ticket costs $8. So adults, but each adult is going to pay $8, so it's going to be 8A plus, it's a total, that means we're adding. We have to add how much it costs for the student, and each student is paying $5. So this equation here would calculate the amount of money. The second just totals the adults and students. So we don't know how many adults, so we're just going to say there were A adults and S students, and the total of adults and students was 135. And so these would be the two equations that we would need for the system. Now we could solve this, but it doesn't ask us to solve it. It just says which systems. So in this case, we would only need to write, and these would be the two equations that we would need to write. Here it says what is the value of y in the system below? So again, here I am needing my solution. So if I'm needing my solution, I'm going to go to my Desmos to help me out with this. So my first equation, 3x plus 2y equals 6. And the nice thing about Desmos is that it will convert the equation and all of that for you. You just type it in as is. Negative x plus y is equal to -2. And then boom, we're going to graph it. And Desmos here, the solution is 2, 0. Now we've got to be careful here because it didn't ask me for the solution. It only asked me for the y values. So the solution that we got was 2, 0. And so we remind ourselves that this is the x coordinate, this is the y. So the answer that we will be looking for here is y is equal to 0. And we only wanted to know the y value. So y equals 0. Again, running out of time here on this video, so I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to upload part 3, and that should be the final part to this review.